The Fisherman is back, but who's behind the mask this time? In the new I Know What You Did Last Summer revival legacy sequel, he comes back with a vengeance and a few new twists and turns along the way. Here's the ending explained and what it can mean for the future of the franchise. After the Fisherman has significantly made his mark on the town of Southport, he focuses his efforts towards the main characters. After killing Milo and Teddy, Danica, Ava, and Stevie find their bodies and decide enough is enough, so they get on a boat and try and sail away while this all blows over. This turns out to be a massive mistake, as it is revealed that Stevie was actually the Fisherman the entire time. She explains how, while the rest of the group went off to college to live their lives, she was trapped in the town of Southport, as her dad blew her college tuition funds. This meant that she didn't really have anybody to connect with. While she was incredibly alone during this time, she was able to find one person to give her comfort. That person was Sam Cooper. Sam Cooper was also the guy driving the car that night during the accident. As a result of them leaving without trying to help, she vowed to exact their revenge on the rest of the friend group. After the big reveal happens, Stevie and Danica end up having a fist fight on top of the boat. While this fight is going on, Ray, from the original film, shows back up on the boat to save the day. However, he appears to be just too late, as Danica is being held by the throat by Stevie. While Ray tries to talk her off the ledge, it appears that Stevie is too far gone, so she stabs Danica and throws her off the boat. Only after that does Ray shoot Stevie, with Stevie falling off the boat right after Danica. Ava and Ray head back to shore together, with them both immediately going to Ray's bar because apparently they both needed a drink after seeing two people just get killed. While the two are alone together in the bar, Ava notices a scar on Ray's arm that is the same place that she slashed the killer when they met earlier in the film. Ray, who has been the guardian of Stevie the entire film, reveals that not only did he fake Stevie's death, but he is also the second killer. After the 1997 killing spree, the town tried to move on as much as possible, forgetting what happened in the past in order to get a brighter future. However, for Ray, it felt like he was getting forgotten too. So in order to make the town remember, he decides to do the exact same thing that happened to him, only with a 2025 modern update to it. Ray intended to remind everyone what he and so many other people in the town went through. Just as all seems lost for Ava, Julie shows up out of nowhere to distract Ray long enough for Ava to shoot Ray through the chest with a harpoon gun, calling back to the first kill in the film. After Julie and Ava finally get to take a breath, the epilogue shows that Danica actually survived and ends up washing up on shore. After an extended stay in the hospital, Danica and Ava go grab a bite to eat as they are finally free from the killing spree. Just as the camera is pulling back, Ava casually reveals to Danica that Stevie is still alive and out there somewhere. And that's where the film ends. Or so we think. The mid-credit scene of this film show that Ray and Julie are not the only legacy characters making a return in this franchise. Karla, from the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer sequel film, is shown watching news footage covering the events of this film. She then hears a knock at the door, and who else could it be but Julie? After a brief reunion, Julie shows Karla a note that says, "I still know." This scene sets up a sequel with Julie and Karla taking more of a central role, much like they did in the original sequel. The choice to make Ray one of the killers is what drew co-writer and director Jennifer Robinson to the project. Because of this, we get to see two very different sides of how trauma affects people. There's a line at the end of the film that, while played for laughs, actually has significant meaning towards the overall theme of the film. After all the dust is settled, Ava makes a joking remark to Danica saying that this all could have been avoided if men ever went to therapy. This is an unfortunate reality, especially with men that are Ray's age. What Ray's character went through in the first film was truly traumatic, and while Julie was able to channel that trauma into something positive, Ray could not. It is clear that his anger from what happened to him has been building up for years, even decades, and with the new town being rebuilt and trying to move on past it, it triggers something inside of him. So while longtime fans might be a little upset that he's now the killer, the story setup is most definitely there. The film's central theme of remembering the past can be seen throughout, whether it be through Stevie wanting to remember Sam, or Ray wanting the town to remember what he went through. Both characters have in some way been forgotten by the people they love, with Stevie's friends forgetting her and Julie forgetting Ray. There's even a small hint of Ray's turn while Julie is giving a college lecture on the effects of PTSD and how, if not treated properly, it has the ability to take hold of the person. The film in itself is a throwback to the 90s and 80s slasher, schlocky kind of B-movies that most of the filmmakers grew up on. There are numerous direct references to the original films. However, there's also some more subtle winks and nods to the audience. For example, in the scene that Ray is revealing why he's become the killer that he is to Julie, she asks, was this all for nostalgia?
I blame nostalgia.
Just so he can bring back some of the past memories, and impart it on a new group of kids, i.e. the new audience. She then proudly states that nostalgia is overrated, right before a harpoon goes through Ray's chest. That dichotomy is where the film is trying to sit, seeing what's come before while also trying to do it with a new spin. Since I just mentioned the references, I should probably give you a few of them, eh? To start, the opening credits are a near shot-for-shot recreation of the '97 film. Given that both films are set in the same town, in the same day, it is obvious that these are trying to invoke the similar emotions of the first film. The connections don't stop there. The cliff where the car accident happens is also the same cliffside that David is sitting on in the opening credits of the '97 film. While David is sitting on this cliff, we even see the same view of the fireworks in which the kids were trying to go to in this new film. Later in the film, the group goes to a scrapyard and attempts to find the car that crashed that night. That scrapyard is named Lansky's. This is a subtle reference to Sam Lansky, one of the writers that helped Jennifer Robinson pen the script. Because the characters in this movie have zero self-awareness that they're in a horror movie, Teddy and Danica end up going to a graveyard in attempts to find the grave of Sam Cooper, the guy that they killed, and see if they can find anything else. To the surprise of almost nobody, the killer ends up finding Danica when she's alone and chases her through the graveyard. During the chase, they end up in the graveyard shack, where they find the Croaker Queen float from the original film. This bombastic 90s throwback is not just some set dressing that we see in the background, but it actually ends up nearly being the place where Danica is killed. And if it wasn't for Teddy coming in out of nowhere, it would have been her death spot. That's a hell of a way to die. After all of the crew meets Ray, they ask for his help as to what they should do with the killer. Teddy suggests that they should just get on his boat and head to the Bahamas for a couple weeks while this all blows over. Well, at first this seems like a regular callback to the ending of the 90s film. It actually has a little bit more meaning, as the ending of this film seemingly ends on a boat, only to be subverted where that's not really the true ending. This Easter egg callback is another encapsulation of what this film is trying to do. Remember what happened in the past, but add a new twist to it. Speaking of boats, Ray's boat in the original film is called Billy Blue. Now, he recreates that sign in the sequel and ends up putting it in his bar. This callback would definitely go over most people's heads. However, longtime fans, they knew. This film is littered with callbacks and Easter eggs to the original film, as many of these legacy sequels try to do. This even comes down to the eerily similar plot structure and story beats from the sequel to the original. With all that in mind though, how does it all come together? In an age of thought-provoking, intense, and gory horror films that we've seen recently, this film is meant to be a throwback to the campy, schlocky 80s horror films of our childhoods. While it is by no means afraid to show some pretty grotesque imagery, the film has a much more lighter tone than the subject matter may suggest. For fans of modern horror films, there might not be enough here to really grip you inside of the story, as there's not that much going on below the surface. However, if you're looking for some campy fun, some hilariously dumb characters who cannot help themselves but split up, and some decently fun performances, then this film is right for you. I Know What You Did Last Summer is the fourth film in the franchise and plans on riding the coattails of the legacy horror revivals like Scream or Halloween. With the heavy-handed setup for the sequel, only time will tell if we will ever see a continuation of this story. What did you think of the film? How did you find the reveal of the killer? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching ScreenRant, and be sure to check out more of our videos covering your favorite franchises, movies, and television shows.